With us on the line now is Raphael Fellmer, who's the CEO and founder of SIRPLUS in Berlin. They're a supermarket tackling the challenge of reducing food waste by reselling all of the unattractive products that other shops refuse to carry. They offer the products to shoppers for up to 80% less than regular supermarket prices. And in 2019, SIRPLUS saved 2,000 tons of food. Fantastic. Welcome to the show, Raphael.
Hello and good morning.
Hi, thanks very much for joining us and congratulations. What great work you're doing over there.
Yeah, it's not me. It's a fantastic team, which we have of over 130 people from 20 nations all over the world who are tackling food waste together. And I also have to mention our clients, because we have until now over 150,000 people who helped us to save this food, because when nobody buys it, we would have to throw it away. So it's really a big team effort.
Yeah, absolutely. So how, when and why did it all start?
Actually, my whole journey tackling food waste started 2009 in the Netherlands, where I saw a YouTube video where people were dumpster diving, so getting food out of the bins, out of the trash, and then eating it. And I was shocked that nobody in the school or university told me about this big problem, because it's actually one of the biggest challenges which we face in this century. And so from then on, I was living 5 years without money to raise awareness. So it was not a hunger strike, but a money strike. And in these years, I founded the food sharing movement with more than 70,000 people actually today, who save food from more than 6,000 businesses in Germany, Austria, and Switzerland. And after pushing this voluntary movement for various years, I then decided, together with my co-founder Martin Schott, to set up SIRPLUS to make food saving really mainstream. So after veganism and organic food products and fair trade products, to really say, okay, now we all have to save food, because we have 50% food waste today currently in Europe, and this needs to change, because this is not ethical, this is not respectful, and also ecologically speaking, it's not further possible to continue to treat our food like that.
I want to ask you about what you said about doing a no money strike. 5 years without money. How did you do that?
So actually, I was hitchhiking from the Netherlands to Mexico, also like Greater Thunberg, with a sailing boat or various sailing boats. And so we were dumpster diving on the way. We went to market stands and asked there for the leftovers, to restaurants, bakeries. And then also when we came back, my wife joined the journey later. We went back to Berlin. And so we found a place where people were not living. So people shared their space, a little flat with us. And then later on, we had in total 3 different apartments where we stayed for a year, more or less. And then, we used the clothes where other people are not using anymore. And so it was really, a sign to say, okay, we live in crazy times. You can, even if you want, to live without money, because we live in a society where there is so much waste of all kinds of things which we need, that you not even need to use money to get what you need.
That's amazing. So was it actually easier than you thought, living without money?
Yeah, easy. It is not easy, and it takes time. So I think patience is the biggest important ingredient, because everything takes more time. When you need to get something, you don't go to a shop and you just buy it, but you have to look for it. Maybe sometimes you have to barter. Normally I was giving my service for free, and people also shared whatever they had for free, but sometimes it was a kind of barter deal as well. And it was hard at the end, because we got then a second child, and then we were 4 in our family, and so we could also not live in one room anymore. And then it got really hard at the end, and that's why I decided as well, with the help of my lovely Spanish wife, who helped me to become less dogmatic and less strict or extreme, and it gave also the way free for SIRPLUS to say, okay, I think we need to tackle all these issues which we have in the world in our current economic system, and hack the system and transform the system, and make it better.
And did you say at one point you were doing this journey with Greta Thunberg?
No, like Greta Thunberg.
Ah, I see.
Kind of hitchhiking as well. She was also sailing with a sailing boat to the United States, and we were also sailing over the ocean.
Yeah, doing a similar thing. So with Surplus then, how did you start it? As you said, it's very much about the clients and getting people involved to give you the certain food items. How did you start that?
So we started in 2017 with a crowdfunding campaign where 1,700 people supported us. This gave us the opportunity to open our first store, our rescue market. And then we later opened our online shop. We found more and more partners. We had also a lot of media coverage from the beginning, which is very important for us as an impact startup, because we not only want to save thousands of tons directly, but we want to also create a mind shift in the heads of the people, because 50% of food waste in Germany is happening at home, because people think that the best before date is a kind of a deadline and that you cannot eat the food afterwards. And we want to empower the people to believe and trust their own senses. So to look at a product, smell a product, and then taste it. And then when it's bad, then throw it away, but not automatically because just the best before date has passed to throw things away. And currently we have 4 stores in Berlin. And we are starting as well our franchise concept at the end of the year and open several other stores in Berlin and more than 700 partners from which we get this surplus, what the normal food banks don't take. So they have always for sure priority.
Yeah, it's interesting where this culture has come from to throw so much food away, because only a few generations ago, people going through the war, there was a whole generation of people, if not more than one generation, where people really, really savoured food and would never throw things away because of rationing and things. And every item of food was so precious. And then it seems that there's this generation that, constant throwing things away and things that you have in the fridge that you don't end up using, and people just wasting so much food.
Yes, we are actually wasting more and more, even if the awareness is raising in the last years. But currently today, with all the food which we are throwing away, which is more than 1.6 billion tons of food every year, that's more than 1,200 billion dollars, we could feed all hungry people 4 times over. And so this is actually a clash, and this is something what should be tackled and challenged. And the United Nations also stated that they want to reduce food waste in the next 10 years until 2030 by 50%. And also Chancellor Merkel and many other countries are already committed to this. And this needs to be a huge team effort, because we are so rich, so we could throw continuously so much food away. But ethically and ecologically speaking, this is a no-go, and we should change it and see food more as a means of living. That's also what the name Lebensmittel means in German, a means to live. And we need to respect our food and therefore our planet and the people who deal with the food and harvest the food much more.
I always think almost every time I go to a restaurant, and particularly with buffets and things, how much food waste there must be in the restaurant industry as well. If you're going to a buffet, they have to make sure there's plenty of food for people to eat, as it's a buffet. But then, of course, so much of it is not going to get eaten. And I assumed a lot of it is just going to be thrown away.
Yeah, that's sadly enough the reality of most buffets, where there is much more, and it's the same in a hotel. There is always more food than we actually can eat, and this is our system. Our system is very much not appreciating the food itself. It is very economically focused, and since the clients would be maybe disappointed when they don't get their slice of whatever they wanted, that's why everybody produces much more than we actually need or can eat.
What do you think can be done about that? Do you think that there should be an end to buffets?
No, I think, there's apps like Too Good To Go who are also tackling the gastronomy sector and helping there. Food chain is saving as well a lot of food from buffets. And I believe that we need a shift in the mind. It's the same when you go to a bakery and it's 10 minutes before it closes, this business of bakery. Then when we still have all this variety of food, for sure there's food waste. But if we accept and also appreciate that this bakery is not having all the variety 10 minutes before closing, then this helps as well the businesses to see, okay, I will not lose my customers, because then they choose another bread or something instead of their normal favorite bread. And so it is a change that needs to be happening as well in our minds. I believe also the tax system can help there. So for example, we could say that you don't only pay the service who takes your leftovers, the bin with organic food, which was thrown away, but you could also tax it and to say, okay, every bin, you need to pay 30 or 40 euros plus on top as a tax service, so that the restaurants and also the supermarkets, etc., that they will deal with food waste more carefully, because then it hurts more economically, and this will push them towards a solution.
It's great because there are people like you and organizations like yours around the world, in pockets around the world, and if people are lucky enough to live in that area, then they can be sort of reaping the benefits of organizations like yours. But there's lots of other areas in the world that don't have their version of surplus or anything nearby. It's a shame that there aren't more of you, I guess.
Yeah, like I'm talking here as well to inspire people all over the globe, to help them to believe in their dreams. And I think tackling food waste is one of the biggest issues which needs more solution. And so we are happy with everyone who also goes on this venture to say, okay, I'm going to open my first surplus store or whatever kind of activities around surplus food. And so hopefully some more people get inspired to take action.
Yes, absolutely. Well, we're definitely inspired. And failing that, we could clone you.
Yeah. That's why we do this franchise concept, to say, why we only have Subways and Starbucks and McDonald's who have 10,000s of stores, locations all over the world. We need something which is really helping the planet as well, which needs to be scaled. And we are looking forward to go also beyond Germany in the next years to help people to be able to tackle food waste, not only in their homes, but also where they buy food.
Great stuff. Well, if people want more information about Surplus, you have a website, don't you?
Yes, surplus.de, and we write surplus with the SIR, SIR, and then plus.de.
.de. Perfect. Surplus.de. Raphael Fellmer, thank you so much for joining us, and we wish you continued success of everything that you're doing there in Berlin.
Thank you so much, and take care of your food at home, and be more trustworthy, everyone out there, with your nose and with your senses, and try the food before you throw it into the bin, and have a beautiful day.
Thank you very much, Raphael. Take care. Bye-bye.